Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Colerical, and today I will be teaching you how to solve a system of equations using two methods, substitution and elimination. First, we'll start off with substitution. So over here, I have a system of equations, 5x plus y equals 20 and 2x minus y equals 1. So in order to execute substitution, we need to solve for one variable first and plug it into that variable in the other equation. So let's take the first equation for example, and let's solve for y. So 5x plus y equals 20. So in order to solve for y, we need to isolate y, meaning it should be the only variable on its side. So in order to do that, we must subtract 5x from each side. So it's minus 5x minus 5x. So we have y equals 20 minus 5x. Now we will take what we solved for y and plug it into y in the second equation. So we will have 2x minus 20x minus 20 minus 5x equals 1. Now in order to solve for x, we need to combine like terms. So 2x minus 20 plus 5x equals 1. And we will combine the two x's together. So 7x minus 20 equals 1. Now in order to keep going, we must isolate x so it's the only variable on its side. So 7x equals 21. And now we divide both sides by 7 to solve for x. So x is equal to 3. In order to solve for y, we take what we found for x and plug it into one of the equations. Which equation we use doesn't really matter because we'll get the same value for y for both. So let's plug 3 into the second equation. So 2 times 3 minus y equals 1. So we simplify and we'll get 6 minus y equals 1. And again, we have to isolate the variable. So we subtract 6 from each side. So negative y equals minus 5. And this is solved for negative y and we want to solve for y. So we just divide both sides by a negative. So we get y equals 5. So our final answer is x equals 3 and y equals 5. And that's how you solve a system of equations using substitution. And now we will be using a different method to solve the same system of equations called elimination. So in order to execute elimination, we want to get rid of one of these variables and combine this system of equations into one equation and then solve for that singular variable. So, for example, in order to get rid of the y in this equation, we would add the two equations together because plus y plus negative y cancels out to 0. So let's add the two equations together. So we add and we'll get 7x equal to 21. And now in order to solve for x, we divide both sides by 7 and we'll get x equals 3. And now in order to solve for the y variable, we'll plug 3 back into one of these equations. And again, the equation we use doesn't matter because we'll get the same value for y no matter what. So let's plug it into the first equation this time. So 5 times 3 plus y equals 20. So now we'll simplify and we'll combine like terms. So 15 plus y equals 20. And you want to isolate y, so meaning it's the only variable on its side. And in order to do that, we subtract 15 from each side. And we get y is equal to 5. So our final answer is x equals 3 and y equal to 5. And that's how you solve a system of equations using elimination.